because the general format of the documentary is they show like some like behind the scene things, some like clip of the talk show, and then they switch to like her interacting with the public, and then they show like a little bit of like family and like
So it didn't
intimate
quite
moments,
flow in a logical like
and they kind
perspective
of like
or sense.
circle between all of those bits,
Okay,
and
let me ask you
to
this.
me it seemed kind
We
of
work together
illogical.
and we've created some stories together. Let me ask you this. What is one thing that you two liked about it, and what are some things that they could have done to make this a more interesting doc? Um, so anyone, Sarah, why don't you go first?
Okay. Well, I liked watching her, as I said before, I liked watching her interactions with the public in the small settings. So there were lots of times where they showed her talking to like a small circle of people or conversing one on one during a book signing. And those were the parts where she seemed the most herself, I think. Because like the talk shows seemed kind of like sanitized, and I did like watching the interactions with her family was nice. I didn't get as much out of it since I didn't read the book, so I didn't really care much about these characters. But what I think they could have done better is establish a more clear narrative and actually give a little bit more information about Michelle Obama. Because it did feel like it was a companion piece to her book.
Hmm.
So, which I have not read, so I don't get as much out of it. Um, but I don't know. They also seemed kind of reluctant to be more candid and to give a more intimate portrayal because they talked about in the documentary the bad press that she got from being just herself and how she would like at first do the campaign speeches unscripted and she would just say things off the cuff, but then she got a lot of backlash for it, so she became more scripted, she became more protective of like her family and who she is, and so she it seems like that feeling of needing to protect herself kind of like carried over into that documentary.
Yeah, very good point. I I totally agree with you. Like, I felt that the times that we have seen her with the audience and like her like fans, let's call them fans, because some of the people who were uh in the show basically were her book readers and her fans in a sense. So I found those moments really like genuine and authentic, like the kind of basically let's say the kind of relationship and openness that Michelle Obama has towards the people or like younger generations, people who were touched by her stories. It was it was truly authentic, and I wish that we could have more of that. And again, when Mike told me that, oh, what do you think is the main story of this documentary? I thought that if it is about the impact that Michelle Obama has on people, especially like younger generations and people who don't see themselves worthy of achieving anything good in their life, if it's about that, I wish we could get more of that in the documentary and getting more of the clear storyline about those types of impact and interactions.
Yeah, I mean, I you know what? I guess I just have like a physical reaction to that because like and I wish there was a metric to measure impactfulness of people when it comes to something as general as this. I just when those words flow into me and hearing about someone's impact on a group of people, like it doesn't mean anything to me because I just don't know what that means. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I get it. She elicits a sort of response and vibe and energy from the people that she meets. I get it. It's just to me, it's not something that's tangible. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah, so the way that they could have addressed it better in the documentary is that maybe they could have followed some of these people, because we see like different like young peoples in this movie, different young persons in this movie, that they were talking about the impact that she has on her life, and even we followed one of them into their house, to see that she has a similar lifestyle to young Michelle Obama, but we never get into the we never get into deeper parts of her like story, like that person's storyline.
Like how,
Okay,
like
Like
what,
they
like what has like literally happened in her life that had a direct
yes,
relationship to
like
how Michelle Obama impacted her. Because I mean, and that's what I mean. Like, you know, to hear that like someone's impactful on a group of people, why that sounds so nothing to me is because you, for example, in a comparable relevant documentary, The Last Dance, Kobe Bryant straight up looks into the camera and says, I hate when people compare me to Michael Jordan because people don't understand. He gave me so much advice. There is no me without him. He is the reason why I won 5 championships. It's a very specific, you know, like, oh, okay, he did something very specific that affected someone in a very specific way. You know what I mean? So
yes.
that it sounds like they didn't follow up, and maybe they had an opportunity to with this, you know, kid who
it was
had.
very surface level.
Yeah, it was surface level, and we didn't get more than that. Oh, people now they wanna like study harder or going to the college. I wish we could see. I wish we could see the receipts for that, like
Hmm.
that. Oh, a person actually got accepted into Harvard because she's so inspired by her that now she wanna follow her footsteps.
Right.
Or
Yeah. Like, I mean, is does a speeching? And I don't know how to measure it, so it's a foolish thing to complain about. But yeah, I mean, like, if she had a speaking engagement with the school, it'd be nice to know that. Oh yeah, after her speeches, you get a 5% return on, you know, test scores or something like that. You know, because there's
actually,
this extra motivation when she comes into town or something like that, or because of
actually,
a program that she helped push and sponsor, this led to that, you know what I mean? And so those are tangible things to me. To hear that she's just impactful and people like her is
actually, the impact, that kind of impact that you were just talking about, it's well documented because back in Barack Obama's presidency, Michelle Obama gave a talk in like a school to not very advantaged students, and a few years afterwards, the GPA, the average GPA of the class that she was giving the talk to them, just like rocket, like
Oh, well,
they,
why couldn't they have said that in the documentary?
yes,
yeah, that's
exactly.
awesome.
If there is
Did
something
they
like
mention it
that,
in the book, and do they cite any sources?
yeah, it is well mentioned in the book, and it's also mentioned in like some of like the educational like reviews, like journals, like professional, like I mean,
Yeah,
written.
that's awesome. If she's some sort of like Pied
Educational research
Piper, or,
journals.
you know,
Yes,
like if she can, you know, walk in and have that sort of like effect, then yeah, awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
Then
that
that
makes
is
sense.
special. I mean, not many people can have a specifically, you know, profound effect on a large group of people. You know, we know Obama had it because, you know, you get up on stage, he gets up on stage and you're mesmerized. So I knew she had it, but to hear that like some tangible results came out of it is pretty cool.
yeah,
I
it
would.
is.
Why don't they put that in the documentary?
Yeah, that's why I'm
Or
saying that a lot of things were like shallow and basically like just scratching the surfaces of the things. It was, and I'm getting that because we have to also consider the context for this documentary. So basically, the documentary, there was not a crew even involved. This documentary is made by one girl and another sound person, and basically it's like a two-person team. And at the beginning, Michelle Obama, I mean, Obama's like production company
No wonder they had to
contacted,
use a bunch of talk show footage.
no, they contacted this girl and said that, oh, we are not sure what we want you to do, but we just want you to go on a tour with Michelle's and like her like tours, book tours, and just film her.
Hmm.
And they told her that,
Yeah.
oh, we might want to keep it
No wonder we
as
got this result.
as as like
Yeah,
as
I've
an
worked like that before,
archive.
and that is not ideal at
Yeah,
all.
I don't blame the filmmaker at all,
Yeah.
because I'm sure that was a very hard position. But
Yeah, we talked about this in another podcast, right? I mean, this is one of the detriments of walking into a project where that's sort of the scope of work, right? Is to just film, and at the end of it, we'll think about what we're going to make then. You know,
And you can tell from the documentary that it's like that, because I felt like watching it, I felt like it was something, I felt like it was an afterthought.
Right.
They were like, oh, we have all this different kind of footage, maybe we can put it together.
And that's not to say that you wouldn't have to film the same amount, but just to have no structure, like no
direction.
bare bone outline of, oh, it's going to end up something like this, things to keep in the back of your head while you're actually filming, then you can run into what it sounds like the problems that this documentary ran into as well, which is, a proper intriguing, narrative.
Yes.
So please feel free to like and subscribe. Ask these people.
Yeah, hit that button. We want to hear from you.
It's so easy. And you will not get disappointed.
Yes.
Please cut that last part.